Okay, we're going to call the organizational meeting to order. We will forego the pledge until the workshop, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Good.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Or support.
Oh,
We usually do roll call first.
well, we could do that. We could do that. I'm sorry. All right, roll call. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
You know my order
Mrs.
here.
Palmer.
Wonderja.
Here.
Highboard.
Here.
Steffes.
Here.
Gardine. Here. Palmer here. DeHaan.
Here.
Van Eck. Here. All
And,
present.
okay, and do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, so no support. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Okay, carries. Ceremonial oath of office. Sally, if you would
Yes.
please come up here. I'm gonna bring my glasses because I might not be able to read this. Bring them. Sally, if you would please raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of
the office of member of the Board of Education
the office of member of the Board of Education
of Grandville Public Schools,
of Grandville Public Schools,
Kent and Ottawa Counties, Michigan,
Kent and Ottawa Counties, Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
I'm chopped liver. You got your whole family.
Oh, that's awesome.
Raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of
the office of member of the Board of Education
the office of member of Board of Education
of Grandville Public Schools,
of Grandville Public Schools,
Kent and Ottawa Counties, Michigan,
Kent and Ottawa Counties, Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Sally and Jason, welcome aboard. Again, glad to have you here, and I know you'll be a great part of this wonderful team that we have. I'd like to open it up for the election of officers, and I will run through a little background on that. Board Bylaw 2405 states the board must elect a president and vice president. The board may also elect a treasurer and secretary. Please do that. A candidate for the board officer position must receive a majority of the board members then serving on the board, a majority vote of the board members then serving on the board. The floor will be open for nominations for each officer's position. According to Robert's Rules of Order, the nomination need not be seconded. After all nominations have been received for an officer's position, a motion to close nominations for the specific officer's position will be requested, and a vote will occur. And I would, and this need not be seconded, but I would just like, can we have a motion to open up the Board of Education officer election nominees?
Support.
Okay, thank you. We're going to start with president. At this time, if anyone has anyone they would like to nominate, please make that known.
I'd like to nominate Jason Highboard.
I'd like to nominate Bob Wonderjump.
Okay, so we have Jason and Bob. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Say it one more time. Any other nominations?
Do you want a motion to close?
Yes. Could you have a motion to close, please?
Support.
Okay. All right, and we will do a roll call vote.
Okay. Okay. Hybor,
Highborn.
Steffes,
Wonder Jump.
Gardine,
Hybor.
Dahan,
Wonder Jim.
Palmer, Hybor, Van Eck,
Hybor.
Hybor.
Okay. 3, so
Do I
Jason.
get a chance to vote?
You're not on my list. Wonder Gem, sorry. Who would you vote for?
I think I'll vote for myself.
Oh, I knew that, and I apologize. Sorry.
Okay, so Jason, gavel is yours.
All right.
All right.
So we closed the last motion. Do we need to reopen the motion for nominations for vice president? Or what do we do?
We don't. We just opened for nominees for each position, so
Got it.
we'll do each one and then do a final
Fair enough.
motion to approve all 4.
All right, so looking for any nominations for vice president.
I'd like to nominate Brent DeHaan.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? One last time, any other nominations? Can I get a motion to close?
So moved.
Support.
All right.
Okay. Brett, we'll go down the line. Palmer, Brett, Van Eck. This is
Brett.
Dahan,
Myself, I guess.
Steffes,
Brent.
Wonder Gem,
Mr. DeHaan.
Hybor,
Done.
and Gardine.
Don.
All in favor? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now open for nominations for secretary.
I'd like to nominate Amy Gardine.
Okay. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? One last time, any other nominations? Can I get a motion to close?
So moved.
Support.
Okay. Van Eck,
Gardine.
Palmer, Gardine, Hybor,
Gardine.
Steffes,
Gardine.
Gardine. Gardine. Wonder Gem,
Gardine.
Dahan.
Gardine.
Gardine gets it.
And she will move.
Yeah.
So
You
you
want
get
to
to come
slide
on
over here?
I want her to finish though.
This is really, you'll do better than me. I don't know what I'm doing over here. So.
Well, since I have not seen any of this paperwork.
It's pretty easy, actually. I know, it's an honor.
That's exciting.
Okay.
Here. That's your cover sheet.
And I started one for our membership.
I'm leaving my coat over there too.
You know.
I get a first.
I know. Could be good.
Hey, yeah.
I'm so excited because that's where I start with.
All right.
I always started together.
We'll open up the nominations for treasurer.
Yes.
I do.
Thank you, I want to confuse you.
So it looks like I'm starting another.
Yes, you will.
Yep, so this will be for treasurer. Should probably have a pen.
Any nominations for treasurer?
I nominate Bob Winterjum.
I'm going to decline. Thank you anyway.
I'd like to nominate Sally. It's a big job though, so.
That's what I've heard.
Gotta tell Heather what to do and everything.
Yeah.
Any
There are
other,
some signing of papers though sometimes,
Okay,
if you get it.
yeah, yeah.
any other nominations? Any other nominations? One last time, any other nominations? All right, can I get a motion to close?
So moved.
Support.
You gotta mark that. Who moved, who supported?
Well, there you go. I said it, and Jason supported it. All right. Cool. All right, so, I gotta find myself. All right.
Do an
Thank you.
M and an S.
Okay, there we go.
Good.
This is exactly what
You're gonna be a pro. You'll be a pro,
I'm
right?
gonna
You're
be a
fine.
pro, like
When your hands
by
start to-
tonight.
when your hands start to shake, it's, will help a little bit more.
Okay, good, good.
And don't forget to call anyone's name.
Okay. And they're always in different order, I do.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
I was
that's
like,
true.
how'd she decide? Look at that. Wonder Jim.
Sometimes I change it.
Hybor,
Vanek.
Steffes,
Vanek.
Gardine, Vanek, Palmer,
Benek?
Dahan,
Benek.
Vanek.
Benek.
Nice. Our treasurer is Vanek.
Good, thank you. All right. So we need to close an overall or not?
What I would suggest is read
Just go
this
through it? Okay.
with all 4 names.
Yeah, then we'll make a vote on it, this overall.
Yeah.
All right, so to wrap this up, it is recommended that the Board of Education elect the following officers for the 2025 calendar year. For President, Jason Hybor, for Vice President, Brent DeHaan, for Secretary, Amy Gardine, and for Treasurer, Sally Vanek. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, you.
All right, so now,
Closes, I don't have to.
Good group.
All right. This
you just tell me when you're ready to keep going, because I don't want you to get behind. Seriously.
go- Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You good? All right.
I'm
Next
gonna
up.
need some help.
Next up, professional services providers. It is recommended the Board of Education designate the following firms to provide professional services to the school district. For legal, Teeples and Teague Law, Miller Johnson, and Troon Law Firm. Financial advisors, PFM and Meter Investments. Auditing firm, Yo and Yo Certified Public Accountants. Architectural firm, GMB Architects and Engineers. And construction management, Owen Ames Kimball, or OAK. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Support.
Discussion.
So, Raj,
Yes.
let's talk about a couple of these items. Number one, GMB. So, you gave a board update October that you were going out for an RFP?
We talked about going out for an RFP, and we did a board update that said that we decided to go out in the spring to do that. That will give our bond projects time to be, for the most part, completed. We have the transportation department and the diesel tech building that are being constructed right now. And we want to make sure that those are completed. We have notified GMB that we'll be going out for bid in the springtime. Just think it's a cleaner time to do that, to take that opportunity to do that at that time.
So, GMB has been the architectural firm for how many years?
Long time.
Long
for
time.
me. And I've been here 10.
Yeah. So, I'm fine with most everybody else on this list. I have a problem with GMB in the fact that every construction project we have done over these many years have been with GMB. And we never, and I understand, we put them here. I don't want to keep them here and set them up for easily winning the RFP. So my assumption is you would do a fair process, but I just want it to be known that they just don't get an in. And I'm not saying that they would, but them being on this sheet there's a percentage in my mind that they're the front runner in the RFP process.
We've been very clear with GMB that we'll be going out for bid to do that. So we'll, I mean, right now, they're our architectural firm.
I understand that.
They're a big part of the project that we're doing, the bond that we're completing. I think they've done an amazing job with our facilities. So I don't have a knock against them, but at the same time, I do think it's been a while and it makes sense to go out for bid. So we'll do that in the springtime.
Just curious, Bob, why GMB and not OAK also? Is there a
No
reason?
OAK's on my list, I'm going one at a time.
So anything that's long-term standing, you would like to have it reevaluated and not just
Yeah,
you're in.
this district over time has seen errors by architectural firms, and
Like the high school.
whether or not they own up to the errors that they seem to make. And the one thing that really sticks in my craw with regard to GMB is the issue we had when we added on the new gym, the fitness center, and the stairs to nowhere, the doorways. And their perspective is, we saw it as a district, we saw it, and we should have said something to them. They are the experts. They're the ones that made the mistake. So there are other other architectural firms that we've used in the past that have made a mistake, and depends on the severity of the mistake as to whether or not they were retained. So they didn't step up as easily as I would have liked them to do. They weren't as stand up as I wanted them to be. They get a lot of money as our provider in that area, and I just want, that's what sticks in my craw. With regard to Owens, Ames, Kimball. So they started out, I learned something back when we did the boiler project. And what I didn't know at the time until after the meeting is that they have a contract with us. I've never known that. I don't think anybody else on this board knew that we have a contract with them, a service contract or an agreement to some degree. So I guess as a follow-up to the information that we're seeing here is, I would love the board, and if the whole board doesn't want it, at least I want to see it, is I would love to see a copy of each one of these agreements. Because as stewards of the district, I want to know it. I'm going to give you a perfect example. When we did that boiler approval, in the past, up until this one, our staff have handled the install. We're not doing that, so we're outsourcing all that. Budgets are getting tighter, and you know what? We got a huge budget. But I still think we have to have that conservative edge into how we're spending our money. And the fact that Fred had stated that he's uncomfortable with that, well, he can be. He's the guy directing it. But I always thought we had capable staff that could do it. I mean, everything's got to be inspected, but I'm just wondering why we're not utilizing our maintenance team as effectively as we can. And then I'm just going to add one more piece to this. If administration truly believes that OAK, we're going to lean against them, and they've provided great service for us overall. I mean, the admin would know that, not the board.
Correct.
And if that's the case, in the role that they're doing, do we need somebody like Fred? Or is OAK doing all that work? Can we do more managers? I'm not looking for an answer tonight. It's just, I never knew there was a service contract, so I'm trying to put all my reflection into that I've done on these things.
May I ask how far back it was that staff was doing that work? Do you remember when?
Every other boiler replacement that I've ever known of.
So we had staff in boiler business kind of thing, like they knew what they were
Yeah,
managing, you know,
Yeah.
and I know we've lost some of
that
those.
they have
No.
done the majority of the work.
That is not true. And you're right, you wouldn't know.
Okay.
And we would know. And I'll tell you, these two companies have done a phenomenal job here and saved us a lot of money during those times. And if we can't do something, having a service with them helps us get something done for a lot cheaper than finding somebody else out there to do it. They're experts in it. They day in and day out, their reputations are very strong in this area. And going out for bid is not a problem. I think that's fair. But at the same time, how you are communicating, in my mind, is saying that they haven't done a great job for this district. And if they haven't, then that's on me. And that's on our administrative team, because we work with each group day in and day out. And if that's what you believe, that's what you truly believe, then I guess you don't trust our decision when we're working with them, because we'd be the first to tell you if we didn't think it was good.
That's not where I'm going with that at all.
Well, it sure sounded like it.
It's not.
Well,
How
sure
long
sounded
is
like
OAK? How long has OAK been part of this?
it. Long before I've been here.
There you go.
And they're in a lot of districts,
And-
and rightfully so, because they have a great reputation.
And do we ever, my whole thing is, do we ever go out for bid? Did anyone else on this board know that we have a service contract with them?
I did, because I helped put in gardening and all that other stuff, and I had to work with OAK.
So you knew there was a service contract?
I did,
Okay.
many years.
I just thought when we approved them here, that was part of what we were doing, allowing for service contracts
Yeah.
as needed, and
And
that was your
just because
business.
you approve them here doesn't mean if you go out for bid, you're locked in with them. But they are, right now, GMB's our architectural firm, OAK is our construction manager. And they've done a great job. I stand.
And that's fine.
I stand
And
behind
you know
them.
what? That's great.
But
Something- if you-
here's the thing, though. You talked about going out for bid, but then you started saying what they didn't do right. I know for a fact, there's a pool at the high school that they weren't a part of that we're dealing with right now, still.
That's been
And-
there since the high school was built.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Okay, you're putting a specific project out there, Roger.
You just did, though.
Yeah.
Stairs to nowhere.
They
different
they
things.
where in
Our
charge of
kids
the
use
stairs
those
to
stairs,
nowhere.
by the way.
Is the same, okay, let's go back on history since you've already stated that. With regard to the high school, who was the architectural firm of record at that time?
For what?
For the high school when it was built, 30 years ago.
I don't know. I know they put a pool on the second
Right.
floor. And I know we're dealing with it.
So where I'm trying to take that is, you took an extreme example. I'm not trying to take an extreme example. I'm taking an example of what GMB, one of the projects they did for us, the errors that were made, how they addressed them, and at least how the board felt at the time that they addressed them. And they have remained the architectural firm of choice, because that's what this is.
Yeah.
An interesting, I've mentioned it to you before, Roger, but an interesting metric to just judge how well they do, or would be the whole overall package, is because on all of our projects, we allow, I think we have to allow a 10% over.
Contingency.
How much of that do we use? If we,
Depends.
right.
Sometimes we use all of it.
Yeah.
Depends on what you run into.
Yeah, I was gonna
Sometimes we
say-
don't.
Yeah, but
We're
so if
able
you
to do other
quantified that,
projects.
if you quantified that and said, we use this much of it and this is the reasons why, it's because our administration or somebody messed up, or it's GMB messed up, or it's just couldn't have known?
It's conditions. I mean,
Yeah.
look at excavating alone.
Right.
You can run into things and have no idea, and it can cost you a whole lot more money I think both companies have done a great job
I'm not saying that they didn't.
at looking out for us. Well, I hope not, because you've approved them for 9 years in a row, and now we're on our 10th, and you never asked for a bid before.
I believe I've questioned GMB for many years, Raj.
Yeah, not saying we
If
should
you
go out for
were,
another
if
bid.
you were to go back,
Not
if
saying
we were to
should go out for
record
a
it,
bid.
and you go back, I've mentioned GMB.
But it-
I think
We
at
do
the
it like-
end of the day, though, I mean, we're going out for bid in the spring,
Right.
right? We're going out for a bid in the spring. That satisfies what you're looking for. It doesn't change for this year, but it helps get them through the construction project they have right now. I mean, I think we all can admit, if you change a contractor, if you change a group midstream, I mean, that's a lot of turmoil. And if we go out there and get a new bid and someone else comes up forward, that satisfies what we're looking for, right? I think it satisfies your concern. And if we go out and get new bids,
What would be future projects that you would see coming forward? Is that like roofs and, I mean, not necessarily buildings, but
sinking fund type
sinking fund work.
things, future bonds, whatever you might do.
But
Yeah.
I'm thinking in this year, or maybe in the next 3
Well,
years.
right now, we're mainly working on the bond and the sinking fund stuff. So
Okay.
it's that stuff
kind of
that
work,
we're
okay.
involved in, yes.
Okay. Where you need an architecture firm to figure,
Yeah.
okay,
And they're deep in the middle of it.
right now, of course,
Yes,
yes.
that's why it
Gotta
makes more
talk into the
sense
future.
to go in the spring. And like I said, we did notify them. We notified them, was it October or November, Heather? You remember? When we notified GM?
It might have been early November, late October.
Yeah. We notified GMB that we'd be going out for bid in the spring. So if you'd like us to do that with OAK, we can do the same thing. That's not a problem. We can certainly do it. I don't have a problem with going out for bid. I have a problem with talking about going out for bid and then, for a lack of a better term, bad-mouthing the two companies about what they didn't do right when they have worked with us when things haven't been right. You wouldn't know that, we would know that, because we deal with them on a weekly basis. And if something's not right, how are you gonna fix it? What are you gonna do?
I understand that. And again, I'm just going to reiterate my statements, okay? With regard to GMB, I've mentioned my displeasure with them over this particular meeting for many years. For OAK, when we went over the boiler situation, Rob's connection, and, you know, I don't have any issue with OAK's work. It's how close they were working with Fred, and I did not know that our staff wasn't more involved. This, to me, was the first time that had occurred. And my discussions, even during the meeting and after the meeting with them, tied to my statement. So that's where I'm taking this, is, you know, be open to some ideas of, this is the time we talk about these. I mean, we do it once a year. This is when I'm talking about it.
And you've never done it in 9 years.
Yes, I have.
Not at this time.
Yes, I have.
I disagree.
Raj, I have one
It's-
question.
If you can go back on YouTube for last year, why don't you check it out? It's there.
I'll just say, like, our company is in the role of like GMB and a lot of stuff, and we definitely, and I know in our role, we bring a lot of efficiencies to our customers.
yeah.
So that's just something that,
It's not uncommon
Has to
for
be factored
organizations
in.
this size to have service contracts. Especially too, when you look at overall staff, right? We've reduced overall staff, whether it be in our, landscaping, whether it be in our custodial staff. We've outsourced and done a lot of that type of thing, and I can't imagine that our maintenance staff is any different. As things have gotten more complicated, it's just the way it goes.
I mean, how common are, you said a lot in the schools, you
I'm
see
just-
service
any-
agreements,
yeah.
right? Like, they don't hold positions
Or in
that
any
that
organization.
don't.
If we
Yeah.
don't have the in-depth expertise that
Right.
some things require, I mean, you're dealing with hundreds, thousands of kids and people, you want to make sure it's right. And if your people have the expertise, you have your people do it, and yeah, it gets inspected. We're not going to, we're not going to say, well, hey, just do everything, because we know that would be costly. We're good stewards of the money. And when you say we're not, you basically are saying we're not when you say that, and I take that personally. I really do.
Never said that.
Well, you might not have meant it, but it's how I took it.
Well,
And I
I'm sorry
think-
you took it that way.
I think expertise is one thing, but also bandwidth is another. Because if we remember the situation, it was Fred was also working on he was doing the dryer. I think it was it the shop, wood shop? Or what was it?
The coil thing.
Yes, he was doing
Airport.
another project at the time, so it became a bandwidth issue, right? Because you don't have the ability to run 5, 6 different projects at once. Sometimes you do have to outsource some of those. And that's
think
what,
that's what he
to me, they
said.
picked and choose and said, yep, this one I feel comfortable with, this one, hey, it's probably better for an outside firm to handle. But
I think Frank said he could learn it if you give him, a year or so to
right, yeah.
get his skills up. But, again, is that really worth where we want him to be? We want him to be on these other
Right. Nope.
projects.
And I have to say, I've been in many, many buildings, and Fred is all over this district, working very, very hard on many projects. So I think that is not his, like we said, it's not his expertise, and he is currently an amazing head of maintenance. So,
Yeah.
Raj, can I ask one question?
Sure.
Of all those firms that are up there, you told GMB already that you're going out for bid.
Yes.
Obviously, we're happy with the others that are up there. Have you notified any of those other firms that you're going to go out to bid or not?
Nope.
Okay, because we're just completely happy with everything they're doing.
It was mentioned earlier by Bob that he thought we should go out for bid. That's fair to me. It's
Okay.
been a long time. It was before me. These two were here before that. That's fair.
I'm
You don't
referring to
have
the
a problem
rest
with
of,
that.
the rest of them on the list up there, not just those two. I'm sorry. I was talking like Yo and Yo and
Nope.
Meter, all those, none of those are going out for bid.
No, because Bob doesn't want him to. That's what it feels like to me. Bob, you're deciding whether what goes out to bid. And I don't think that's fair.
Well, clarification, Bob does have a
I think that should make
voice.
you have a chance to say something too, like, I don't want that. Or
Yeah.
Did
if
those
I'm-
words come out of my mouth, Barb?
Yes, you
Wait a
said,
minute.
I want there to be
Exactly.
a.
No.
Let's order,
Okay.
okay. Make sure we're taking
I think you need to
conversation on
be
them.
careful of what you're accusing
No,
me
I
of.
am saying that you have a lot of influence and that none of us have known that there's a bid being asked for. Why isn't that brought to the board for a discussion whether we want one?
Well, we discussed it.
It was brought
Yep,
to the
it was
board,
brought-
Barb.
Yeah.
Was I at
it was
that
brought up.
meeting?
Yes, you were.
And
I
did we
don't-
vote on it?
No, Roger just told us what he was gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like it's one more step that
I
maybe we
think-
weren't planning on.
I think
and
you're-
because you said so, we have to now do it. That's what it looks like to me. Now, maybe other folks knew, yes, but it just seems like you're pushing that, and I don't really totally know why, but if they think it's good, then okay, but it should be a board decision and not a Bob decision.
I don't think we have an ironclad rule that says, hey, we should every X amount of years go out for bid on certain things. And maybe that's, we develop something where we say, hey,
Yes.
every 3 years, it's good to at least go out for bid on
Absolutely.
these things. Maybe it's every 6 years, it's for this thing. And just, it's not an ironclad rule. It's not something we put down, but it's a way we kind of operate. Because I think you're right. I think there is always value in going out every now and then just to see, what's out there.
Could I- could
There's
I ask
nothing
a-
wrong with that.
could I ask
And
a
then
question?
sometimes, let me
Yeah,
just
sorry.
quick finish.
Yep.
Again, sometimes we've done that, and I'm going to always use this one, Bob, because one of the first things we talked about when I was on the board was the landscaping group. And sometimes we go out for bid, we find that group that has been the incumbent is a little bit more expensive, but you know what? They've done a darn good job for us, and we kept them. It was only like $40 a year. But we said, you know what? There's no reason to change. We've gone out for the bids, we've got these other groups, and there's no reason for us to change. But I think it is valuable to do that every now and then. And like I said, we can meet with the administration to say, hey, which groups does it make more sense for? There are some, like Yo and Yo, right, that know us, right? And, it may make sense to keep them for a while. There's other
You're
groups.
suggesting that everyone go through a process?
Not every
this
year,
one?
not every
So
year,
every-
but we kind of sit, maybe we sit and come up
Uh-huh.
with a plan. Because I do think it is worthwhile. Doesn't mean we have to change,
No, and,
but it does make sense
Make it-
to see what else is out there and see what other
sorry,
services other groups can offer.
Sally had a comment.
Yes, sorry.
Well, my only question was if there are problems that you have with any of these groups that you're working with, do you feel as the administrators that things are usually worked out in a way that is advantageous to the district? And
We wouldn't be recommending them
Right.
if they weren't.
okay, so my question then, Bob, is like, what would you expect if there's an error that you see? How would you expect them? Because it sounded like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you were dissatisfied with how they reacted to what you thought was wrong, like the staircase to nowhere. So how would you expect any group to respond to the dissatisfaction with that? That it would be satisfactory in your eye, because I feel like in your mind's rubric, something's not checking for you.
When issues were brought with regard to that, the issues, it was brought to the board, and my whole thing is be stand-up. Just be a stand-up company. If the error is noted, agree and correct. And in this situation, initially they did not. They threw the blame on the district. And because of that, why do we have these here? They are our experts. So when the expert that you've hired tells you, well, you approved it. Wait a minute. You have to, then explain to me what I approved, because you're the expert. Is everyone here reading blueprints? Their group did something wrong. Admit it, fix it, and move on. We are a public organization, and we're accountable. They need to be accountable because they're now working with a public organization. So our public wouldn't stand for, I'm going to bring it right back to the pool 30 years ago. That was shoddy work. We have had lawsuits and we have dealt with issues over and over and over. We've brought in attorneys into play. We have sued them over many things that have occurred in this district. Just be stand up and do the right thing. If you do, then we don't need attorneys, but not everybody is. And when they do, it leaves a sour taste.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like it was dealt with eventually? I mean, in a way that it was remedial?
No, I actually don't. I think we've accepted what they did, but I don't think we received a discount or we received any feedback for the errors that were made.
When
So-
was that project completed?
Probably
The one we're talking about.
The-
12 years ago?
No, it was,
2012.
no, it was,
Somewhere between 2013 and 2017.
yeah, I was here. I was here on the tail end of that
Yeah.
bond.
Okay. I'm just trying to
Some of
understand why,
those-
this
Some
is.
of those things were brought up. I can tell you, and I'm gonna go back to something you said earlier. We wouldn't know. Our administrators would. I can tell you, both of these companies have done a fabulous job working with us when there are issues. They have saved us money along the way on several things. There are some things that, yeah, you go, we've got, this isn't right, we've got to do something with, and yeah, we had something recently that happened at the middle school when it was being built. They worked with us, we found a way, we made it happen. They've been very good at doing that. I can't speak for what happened I caught the tail end of that bond, but I do know during my time that I've been here, going into my, I'm in my middle of my 10th year, that both companies have been great in working with us in those areas, so.
I mean, we've gotten awards from it, some of it.
Yeah.
I know that might mean nothing, but I feel like at least, they're being recognized in the business for their work.
But I don't have a problem going out for bid.
Okay.
I just want that to be clear. I'm not upset he's asking to go out for bid. I'm upset because I take the other stuff very personal as a superintendent, and our people work very hard with these two companies. And to me, if some of the things that were said just aren't, that they're more of an attack on us, I look at than the company. I don't think on purpose, but we take great pride in what our facilities look like and the work that we've put in to make sure this community has outstanding facilities for our kids, because we've been very blessed that they have passed bonds and sinking funds for us.
Okay. Any other discussion? Let's move forward. Can I get a motion? I'm sorry,
That was
it's
already
already done. I'm just going to vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, it's recommended the Board of Education approve the attached schedule for school board meetings for 2025 that designates meetings to be conducted on the first and third Monday of each month. Unless otherwise noted, all meetings will begin at 7 p.m. and will be held in the board room of the administration building unless otherwise posted. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion?
It's good to me.
All right, good. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion passes. Board compensation. It is recommended the Board of Education approve compensation to board members as permitted by law to receive $30 per meeting, payable in 2 installments, the first half being paid in January or before and the second half in July. This is consistent with the past practice over the last several years. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion?
It's good to me.
All those in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? All right. Designation of depositories. It is recommended the Board of Education designate Fifth Third, Huntington Bank, and Lake Michigan Credit Union as the depositories for school district accounts. Deposits and investments may be placed at other institutions consistent with Board Policy 3203, deposits, and 3204, investment of funds. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All right. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Electronic funds transfers, an electronic transfer officer. It is recommended the Board of Education adopt the attached resolution authorizing the school district to participate in electronic fund transfers. It is further recommended that the Board of Education designate Heather Roskowski, Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, as the electronic transfer officer and authorized agent to complete such electronic fund transactions on behalf of the board. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Support.
Supported.
Okay. Did I get your name right? All right, perfect. All right, there we go. Not too bad. All right, all those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Designation of signatures. It is recommended the Board of Education designate signatures for the various accounts as follows. The Capital Projects Funds, the Board President, Vice President, Secretary, Treasurer, and Chief Financial Officer, 1 of 5. Other accounts, Board Treasurer or Chief Financial Officer, 1 of 2. Debt Service, Board Treasurer or Financial Officer, 1 of 2. And the Contracts and Agreements, Board President, Vice President, Secretary, Superintendent, Chief Financial Officer, 1 of the 6. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Authorization of President to appoint liaison assignments. It is recommended the Board of Education authorize the Board President to appoint board members to liaison positions with various organizations in the Grandville Parks and Recreation Board. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All right. All those in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Okay, that's all we have for now, so we'll adjourn this meeting, and we'll come right back here after, you need a 5-minute break?
Nope.
Anybody okay?
Good to go.
Okay, all right.
Did you need something, Amy?